Welcome into the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast. Another fun episode tonight for you. A guest that sort of is different from some other guests. This is a two-sport athlete. At least at one time he was. He's now a one-sport athlete. We'll get to that in a second. He, hometown boy, Iowa boy. He throws a little white ball 200 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure. His name is Brody Brecht, and we get him for a small amount of time tonight. Brody, thanks for joining the show.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate you wanting to talk to me for sure.
Grant and I were talking just before this. We'll just get it out of the way. Do you feel like a superhero when that thing comes out of your hand? I mean, you have an absolute loaded shotgun attached to your shoulder. What is it
laser.
Like? It's unbelievable. Like, is it really cool to throw 100 miles an hour?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely cool. If you get your report after the game or whatever and you see what you're at. But honestly, I don't be like trying to throw like hard. Like oftentimes when I try to throw as hard as I can, it's slower than, when I'm just like kind of loose and going easy out there. But yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely cool for sure.
Well, that's even cooler. You're like, oh, I just don't even try. Actually, it's just natural.
There's something to that though, because I mean, you probably don't think of it this way, Brody, but in like high end sport, like velocity stuff, the harder you try, the more you leak energy, right? If you try to wind it up and just crank on it and not be natural, your body's gonna leak energy somewhere, and it's
well, that's and like so like when I like try, like I'll tighten up, and so I'll lose like a little bit of like whippiness and like my shoulder and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I just try to be loose out there.
Yeah, officially, what is the most you've ever been clocked at?
I think 101.7, I think is the highest, is the official number. I know I know 104 is like out there, but I mean that's
fake news.
That was on it was on like a gun. It was really windy that day.
It was wind aided.
Were
you a track guy?
I am. Yeah, it was over the threshold. It was over the 0.08 or whatever.
Man. Hey, but if it's a windy day out there on the diamond,
hey,
it's blowing towards home plate. Them boys are just screwed, I guess. So obviously we got you on the front end of baseball season here.
Yep.
You guys. When I sent you the message, like, hey, do you want to come on? I realized afterwards, I was like, yeah, those are going to be bad days for him to do. So we're recording this on a Tuesday, not a Sunday or a Wednesday. Cause you guys, basically the way it works is it's always a weekend trip, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So we usually leave Wednesday, then get back late Sunday. So, it's kind of it's really just these first 4 weeks down south. All these, so like we're flying down there all the time, but I mean once the Big Ten play starts, we'll be driving most places, so it'll be like a Thursday through Sunday. But these first 4 weeks definitely fly by. It's kind of nice not going to got to go to class half the week. So
true. I didn't even think about that. Gone Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, it's a lot of homework on the plane though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us are grinding out at the airport during the layover, but I mean, it is what it is.
Flying's nice, huh?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely nice going down there. It's not we don't get the football chartered flights. We're on the commercial side of things on the baseball.
Yeah, I suppose you've gotten to. Did you travel with the team for any of the away games?
Football,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have gotten the taste of the old private flight, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Those are really nice.
Walk your ass right ondown the tarmac.
Oh yeah, no.
Give you a snack bag,
no TSA, no long lines. Yeah, it's nice.
What was it like the first time you went through that? Was it like, oh my God, like I'm a superstar?
No, I mean it's definitely cool. I mean, just they drop us off in like the private area or whatever. You walk through, they give you just a little tap down and you go on the plane. You got long walkway. It feels pretty cool for sure.
They got the D squad for the security unit at that place at all times. So let's back it up. Like, obviously you're at Iowa now. You were playing both sports and now you're just focusing on baseball. We'll get there in a second. When's the first time? What did you pick up first, a baseball or football?
I think football. Football's always what I wanted to do. That was always what I wanted to do as a kid. it was always my dream to play football. But I mean, I think I started playing. I mean, it was those two in basketball is when I started when I was. I mean, as long as I could remember.
How long did basketball last?
Basketball went up until freshman year, and then I just focused on baseball and football. And then I
You
ran
realized you were an absolute stud at the other two.
Yeah, well, it's just like for Iowa, it's just like I wouldn't have had like really like an off season. Like I knew that like I was like I mean I was like decent at basketball. I mean I really couldn't shoot, but I was like I mean rebounds, like defense, like
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman out there, you know.
Okay. That's a good. I like it. I like it. Hey, you got to
but,
have some Rodmans out there for everybody who thinks
yeah.
they're Jordan.
But like for Iowa, like Iowa's like baseball. Like for us, it's like normal, like playing in the summer. But like I mean, like 48 out of 50 states, like baseball's played in the spring.
Yeah.
And so like for me, like it would just be like football in the fall, basketball winter, track spring, baseball. Like it just would have been like no like kind of like period where I wanted to like, you know, lift and get big. So that was kind of like why I stopped playing basketball.
Soft. Only could do 3 sports out of 4. So soft. You mentioned lifting and wanting to get big. When did you start lifting weights?
I think 7th grade is like when we started like doing more like just in middle school, like is when we started doing more like workouts and not games is kind of like when we transitioned away from that. But then 8th grade, when I got to 8th grade, it's like when we started doing like legit like workouts.
Were you already like the strong kid?
Are
you a strong kid? Can we throw some weight around? Like what's it look like?
Yeah. I mean bench, yeah. I can
Good bencher?
I love bench. Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that because I would imagine you have a pretty good wingspan, like long arms.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm decent at it, but we do like it's like a kabuki bar. It's not like a straight bar. So we do like a lot of that and like dumbbell. So we're like trying to take a little bit off, but yeah, no, we'll do that. But I mean, I was always like kind of a little bit more athletic. And I mean, yeah, stronger, I guess too, but I really didn't like start filling out until like my junior year.
I filled out my freshman year and then I stayed the same size all the way till right now, which is 5'10". And you're coming up, you're playing AU baseball tournaments, you're playing football. Like when did you realize that this was probably like you could throw the ball pretty good? Yeah, I remember I played AU baseball up through high school.
Yeah.
And I remember we got to like 6th grade, maybe 7th grade, and there were some dudes throwing like low 70s.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, that's enough of that. You know? Can't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you know who John Wisniewski is. He went to Dowling. He was in our grade. He was a tight end for us at Iowa, but he was a big time baseball prospect for a while. And him and a couple of his buddies at Dowling, they were throwing like 70 in 7th grade. And we played him one time and we had 2 people make contact the entire game. So like, were you that guy in the mound where it's like, hey, if Brody's pitching today, just like it's chalk it up, like it's over?
I mean, yeah, I've always thrown harder than a lot of the kids my age. So I was probably one of those guys when we were younger, throwing a little harder than some kids. But the biggest jump was like from my sophomore to junior year. But
really,
yeah, I mean, this is just like velo wise was like that was the biggest like jump. But I mean. But
what did it? Just natural growth.
I mean, I started doing like plyo balls, long toss, like, you know, that time, you know, I mean, when you turn that age, that's kind of when you start. That's when I like started filling out a little bit more. So just strength training and whatnot. But yeah,
was it a situation where you were like when those times happen during like the development of kids, like teen athletes, usually it's like one of those things where every time out on the mound for you or on the field or on the court, it's like noticeably like, oh my God, I'm getting good. Like every day out here, I'm getting better. Yeah. Was it one of those situations?
Yeah. I mean, like my freshman year, like I was still like pretty skinny my freshman year, but then like kind of like sophomore year, I took a little bit more of a jump, and then like I really like started like training more baseball. Like I started actually like going to see like
Yeah.
a pitching coach and like doing like more weighted balls and that stuff. And it just like, I mean, yeah, like you said, like it was like just each week, like I just felt like I was getting more and more like just accumulated, like getting my arm built up more, just like kind of learning like really about just being a pitcher, and not just kind of being like a athlete out there. So
Just a guy who's throwing hard to
yep.
now you're actually putting a little professionalization
Yeah,
behind it.
exactly.
That's interesting, man. That's that had to be fun when you're like, oh my God, I'm throwing it hard. Like this is cool.
Because we had like a like kind of before, so we do like indoor like stuff in the winter, like just with the high school,
Yeah.
to like kind of like just get your arm built up for the spring league and then the actual season. But I would like right after football, like wrapped up in November, like that's when I started like throwing, started working up, and like that sophomore year, like going to my junior year, like that was like when I was like really like took that seriously and started doing that like every day and stuff. And so it was like kind of right before like we started transitioning just to the high school stuff. That's when like we were doing like the velo guns, and like it'd be like, oh, there's we're up 5 from where we were like 5 months ago.
Yeah,
So
that's some juice. We got a little juice behind it.
exactly. So yeah, no, it was definitely
All the other kids are looking around like, the hell did Brody eat this summer? This guy on gas or
what's
what?
this kid on? Yeah.
Guy got the Mark McGuire stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Baseball was better with steroids in it.
Oh,
By the way.
absolutely.
Yeah, they gotta bring that back.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully in a few years they're just like, yeah, screw it, and we just see Brody on the mound, just like he just look like John Cena out there.
Then you might actually see a 104, but
I was gonna say maybe we can get these guys to touch like 106, 107.
oh yeah.
So what did so that's your developmental side as far as, and obviously you were good at football. You were able to earn a way onto the Iowa football team as well. When did recruitment pick up? And when in your mind, 8th grade, freshman, sophomore year, when did you realize like, or shit, maybe it was all the way just recently when you decided to focus on baseball? Like, when did you realize like, oh, it might be baseball. Baseball might be even like, cause you said you wanted to play football. And I know in a couple interviews that you would have done, like even maybe in college, like as you stepped in at Iowa, you were like, I like football more. Like I want football, but you were just, eventually you're just too good to not play baseball. I can't wait to hear about that decision. But like, when did your mindset start to flip of like, okay, I'm probably gonna have baseball opportunities in college as well?
Yeah, no, I mean, football, was and probably always will be not my number one love. That was
Still.
oh yeah, no, I love it. But I mean, I would say probably like my junior year, like after my junior year, like baseball, like I started getting, like Iowa offered me for baseball like my sophomore year,
Okay.
and then like football kind of followed that as well. But I mean, I was still locked on to football. Like, still thought I was, better at football. That's what I wanted to do, whatever. Then
And you were pretty good at football. Like, just want to let you know. Like, it's not, you weren't, you were good.
I appreciate that. But then like after my junior year state baseball tournament, I pitched that quarterfinal game, and I was, up to supposedly like 97, like kind of like sitting like 94, 95 my junior year. And so then like that winter, scouts started like kind of reaching out and stuff. So then I was like,
Yeah, I'd say
I was like, oh, maybe, maybe this is something, that I need to do, whatever.
Big time scouts. Like
Yeah.
like professional, like how does that work? Do pro scouts?
Yeah, it's
Like,
pro scouts. Yeah.
so it's like, whoa, that's weird actually.
Yeah, because
How does
baseball.
that process work? Because obviously guys get drafted out of high school all the time.
Yeah.
So what is a scout saying to a kid? Sorry, I'm getting us off track, but what does scouts come in and say? Are they able to talk to you guys?
Yeah. So yeah, I think the first one I got was like an email, wanting to like get my number and just kind of like set up a meeting, whatever, and just kind of just basic like background, check stuff, all that type of stuff. And then kind of like as I got like more and more like popular, that's when I started having advisors start reaching out, like trying to, wanting like them to kind of be like my agent. You know, technically they're not your agent until you
Sweet.
sign. But
This is at 17 years old.
yeah, this is yeah would have been So
Holy cow.
I mean so then they start kind of going through your advisor. And
Okay,
whatnot, but
and you're allowed to sign one of those.
well, so like really, you're not technically they're not your agent until like you sign on like the dotted line, like with a
Sure.
contract. So technically, like I still have an advisor because I haven't signed.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, they just like kind of like help you through like the whole like they'll handle like all the communication stuff, like if they need you to fill something out or whatever. Like,
Are they affiliated with teams?
No, they
just
have
like their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they have their agency. So like how like Coop is like with somebody, how
Yep,
like Van Ness is with somebody, like it's kind of like just like their agency or whatever.
Okay, okay, they're their own entity.
Yeah.
Are you able to tell us who that first team who reached out was, or is that private?
No, you're good. The Diamondbacks were the first team to reach out. So.
Oh, dude, if I was rolling into junior high school with an email from the Diamondbacks,
yeah, dude,
I'm in Gmail, I'd be the most annoying dude in the world. I'd be showing everyone that.
Yeah, all the girls, dude.
Dude.
Every girl that doesn't care walking down the hall. You guys know the Diamondbacks reached out to me, right?
So,
I made it.
Yeah, you're in algebra 2. I'm getting emails from the Diamondbacks. So that's where we're at.
What was that? That had to be weird. Like you're sitting there doing like freaking geometry homework, and like an email comes through from the Diamondbacks, and you're like, I'm in my parents' room is across the hall. Like, this is weird.
Yeah, well, it's. I remember like I was like in the training room when I saw it. Like I don't have like my email notifications on, so like it'll rack up like a couple hundred, and I'll just kind of like. So I didn't even really like I like responded to it like a week later. I was like, oh, might want to check this out.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, that was interesting. I was literally in the training room, like just going through my emails, like just clicking mark as read because I don't like the notifications or whatever popping up. So like I just like go through them, and I was like. Arizona Diamondbacks draft prospect link. I was like, let me click on that. Let me see what this is.
I might want to fill that one out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that was junior after junior.
So I think I said so that was after my junior season. So that winter before. So it would have been the winter of my senior year, like going into my senior baseball season.
Yeah. So that's when you realized, okay, baseball is probably a legitimate route as well.
Yeah, because I was always trying to figure out where I wanted to go play football at. Whether it was Iowa, Iowa State, wherever it was. Like I was just trying to like figure out where do I want to play football at. Like I'm not trying to like leave baseball out of it. And then like just as it kind of kept getting closer and closer, it was just like.
And you had offers from both Iowa football and Iowa baseball.
I did, yeah. So
what other football opportunities did you have?
I had Iowa State. Kansas State, Nebraska. Those are my football offers. And then Iowa was the only like official baseball one to offer me, but like Kansas State, like and Nebraska would have let me like play both as well. But they never like that was just always like, all right, like we're offering you like to play football, but you can play baseball as well. So
you're telling me that no other baseball schools offered you a scholarship?
Well, I mean, I committed like
okay.
Like I committed like at the end of my like going into my like senior season. So I committed like after like junior year baseball, like I committed to Iowa, but yeah.
Was that the dream?
Iowa? Yeah, I mean, Iowa was always like my I mean, I grew up Iowa fan, like it was always my dream to play there. But like just I want to stay in state, like just being a Ankeny kid, like I wanted to play for one of the two in-state teams. And I had really great relationships with the Iowa State coaches. Got a lot of respect for them.
No, we don't.
I mean,
we don't.
But I mean, at the end of the day, they don't have a baseball program, so it's just like,
that's weird. They don't have a baseball program.
I know. They used to, but club team.
Seems like they would. So you commit to Iowa. What for both sports? What in like? I guess I'm not going to call you dumb high school kid, but you're just 17, 18 years old. You're naive. You don't know you don't know what's ahead of you there. You're probably thinking like, I could do them both.
Yeah.
I could fully pursue both of these sports. We've had this conversation with Ben Keeter as well, not with him, but about him. His is probably even more crazy just from the physical side of
his
wrestling.
Is nuts,
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine. Because I know, like, mine was tough, but I can't imagine what his is.
right. Like, so that's what I'm saying is like what is your mindset as a high school kid? You just think like, yeah, I'm going to do this, or did you have somebody telling you, or were you able to talk to anybody else who was trying to do two sports in college that was like hey, this is what it's going to look like. This is what you're signing
Yeah.
up for. What did that look like?
Yeah, well, I first, like, I sat down with, like, I had a Zoom with Coach Ferentz and Coach Heller, just
Yeah.
talking about, like, all right, like, communication is obviously gonna be a huge, like, part of it. Like, there's gonna be certain lifts that I'm not gonna be able to do because of baseball. Like, you don't wanna
Right.
put my elbow at risk or something like that. So, like, that was the first thing, like, before I committed, I wanted to have a conversation with them about it, like, "All right, what's this gonna look like so, like, we can make this work? Because
Yeah.
this is something I wanna do."
Brody Brecht wasn't doing max hang cleans.
I was not doing max hang cleans.
No shot.
Nope, nope. But then um, but then going into, like, fall camp, like, I was ready. Like, you go from being a big fish, in a small pond to,
Yeah.
kinda, the story. Everybody's got their,
Yeah,
college
you're still a
but
little bit like I would call like a medium to large fish still at
yeah.
college. I became an actual minnow, but yeah, go for it.
But yeah, like, I knew it was gonna be tough. But in my mind, I'm like, all right, dude, I've been doing this for, you know,
Yeah,
15 years. Like, I got this, like,
easy.
whatever. But I tell you, man, it was a grind for sure. Especially that first, just like for me, because like I said, baseball we play throughout, the summer. So like
Yeah,
I wasn't there for summer workouts. I wasn't there for any of the plays. Like I came in like not knowing nothing, and like I get to fall camp, and I'm going up against Riley Moss and Matt Hankins. Like it's just like, all right, here we go. Here we
that's
go.
a tough one right there.
I'm
You
like,
know,
all right, here we go. Here we go.
Riley Moss, crosstown rivalry.
I know, I know. Well, it's funny because so my freshman year, I was playing varsity,
Okay.
and him and like Pinniger were like the corners, like like the stud athletes, at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
whatever, and so it kind of like came full circle. But
Man, I
uh,
might have even watched one of those because obviously my brother was.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I might have even watched one of those games, or maybe it was against Dowling. I don't remember. Riley had a sick one-handed pick at the end of a game one time. I don't know. Obviously, he was
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah,
Uh, yeah, it's cool to see a bunch of. I forgot about Pinniger too. He
yeah,
went to Penn State, right?
yeah, kicker,
Kick-
yeah,
Um, yeah, that is sort of a full circle moment. Like you get to Iowa and like, oh, there you
Riley,
are.
here we go, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
How did that go? How was it going against Riley Moss the first time? Like, did you have any chance?
No, well, like for me, like no, like in high school, like nobody would like press me, like so, like
Yeah,
nobody would like press, nobody would jam. I'm like used to just like, getting a free 5 yards or
yeah. They're
whatever.
giving you cushion.
So like my first run, he like lines up in front of me. I'm like, all right, all right, got a fade. Like, all right, I'm gonna fake inside or go outside. Like, and at this point, like, I'm not like super like I was like just a deep threat, like go up and get it. Like I wasn't like a
Sure,
super polished, like, route runner and everything. Whatever. And also I'm coming off from baseball, so I'm probably like, 195 at this point. Like
beefy.
yeah, yeah. So I'm like skin and bones out there, and I'm like, all right. So I fake inside, and Riley's hand just boom right in my. I'm like, oh.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
yeah. So it was definitely like a wake up call.
He put that Phil Parker technique on you, huh?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, yeah, I can't. Nothing I can do about that. And like just like that. That was part of like me. Like I'm a taller guy, so I had to learn about like getting low, like ripping through it,
Yeah,
and all that stuff. But no, it's definitely a wake up call. Definitely like, all right, it's going to be a grind.
yeah.
But here we go.
Man, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh yeah,
You're like, okay, yeah, it's not high school anymore.
yeah. No, it's like, all right, this is for real. Here we go.
That strong hand too, right in the armpit, shoulder.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stick ya.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Did it surprise you how strong he was for like a guy who's
Yeah,
like
yeah. No,
200 pounds?
Riley's super strong. I'll tell you who. Jack Kerner is also a brick.
Oh,
Like I went and tried to like crack him one time during scout, and like and like for me, like I think I got him. Like he's not even looking, and then he boom, like last second. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got the wind knocked out of me.
oh.
But yeah, no, Jack Kerner is he's built like a rock.
He
So
is built like a rock, dude.
he is just.
And you want to know why? It's because he's from Dowling and they cheat.
That's what I'm saying.
They're cheaters. They're just cheaters. And Kevin, who's supposed to show up 7 minutes ago, he's a Catholic school kid, and they recruit guys at Providence Catholic, and they're cheaters. Everybody's a
That's
cheater.
okay. That's what we always said, bro.
I know.
That was always
I
a
know.
student section chant, man. It was like daddy's money, God loves us for free. Like that's all what it was.
Ooh, yeah, daddy's money's a good one. That is a good one. Grant's also a Catholic school kid, by the
I say,
way.
this sounds like it's my high school
Jeez,
experience,
man.
but Colorado.
So sorry about that, Grant.
Oh,
Grant's just
man.
sitting here on the sideline. Bro, I'm catching strays right now. God, that's funny. What year did you come in to Iowa?
Would have been fall of 21.
So so you got to miss the COVID year too. You didn't have to deal with that 2020 BS.
Yeah, no, I was not there for that.
Okay. That's helpful because that was that was talk about trying to do two sports. That would have
Ooh.
put a whole other wrench into things.
Yeah. No.
So I got to imagine. So what is that like? That first winter look like then? The period sort of that you're in,
Yeah.
you guys are in right now, because obviously football workouts that first 8 weeks before
Super
spring ball,
important. Yeah.
those are no joke.
Yeah, no,
And
it was
I got to imagine that's prime. Like, okay, we're ramping up for baseball season too, right? So what did that look like the first year?
Yeah, no, that freshman spring was probably like the toughest like throughout like my time here, just because
Grinder.
I was still trying to like make a name for myself in football. So like,
Sure.
I mean, I was in the 6 a.m. group. Like so there was like times, we're getting back at 12:30, 1 a.m. and I gotta be, up at 5, like gotta lit. So I mean, it was a grind for a few weeks before I started
Eesh.
like really like feel it. And I had to like talk to the trainer. I was just like, I'm trying, but I'm like, I mean, my body is breaking down. Like it's
Yeah.
like so like that's when we started like, kind of figuring out, all right, which days do I need to be, at football, which days do I need to be at baseball. So it got better for sure. But like the first
You were
6
feeling
weeks, it was brutal.
The worst part about that is no sleep. Like if you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, like you just can't recover.
No, and I'm not like a napper either. Like it's like I can't really nap. So like, yeah, no, it was brutal for sure. I was just like,
God.
yeah, there was one time we were playing Bradley, at Bradley, and it went to like 12 innings, and like we got done at like 1:30 a.m. We got a bus back, and I had to text Cope, and I was just
Wait,
like,
Bradley's
in Peoria, Illinois.
So you were gonna get back at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, probably like 3, and that's probably 3:30, and that was like the first time where because like before, like we've been getting back at like 1 and like
Yeah.
stuff like this, and like I hadn't said anything about it, but I talked to like the baseball trainer, and I was like, dude, I like we get back, I don't even know if I go to sleep, I had to be up in like 2 hours, like I don't know.
Well, and at that point it's dangerous.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And he's like, no, we can't do that. So like I texted Cope and I texted Braithwaite, and I was just like, we're gonna get back at 3 a.m. Like I just can't be there in the morning. Like
Count Brecht on the roll call as a baseball absence.
Yeah, exactly.
You had the card to pull there. God, that's brutal, man.
Yeah. So freshman year was tough. This past year wasn't as bad just because like had a little bit more of a name per se. So like, and I was like, on a start, like it was a lot easier with my schedule because I was
a little bit of yeah.
Cool. Because
credibility there where you could pull cards more.
Yeah. And baseball, like I was starting, so like I had a set like schedule throughout a week of like, all right, when am I throwing bullpens? When am I, when is my off day? Like all this stuff. So like it was, and then eventually I stopped playing, so it was got easier as well. But yeah, that freshman like winter spring was definitely tough.
Dude, you were handling a academic load too.
Yeah.
Like a freshman year of academics. And I know that they had you in some BS like intro freshman athlete class for 1 credit that you had to worry about. And like you probably had LC hours, right?
Yeah.
Or do they do hours anymore?
I think freshman you have to do at least 4 a week.
We had 8.
8? Maybe it was 8. I can't remember.
I think they dropped it. I think you're right. But
but no, it was a grind. But I mean, I actually came in with a lot of credits.
That's helpful.
So I only took like 12, 13 like my freshman year.
That helps.
So it wasn't as bad. But
man, I know exactly how you felt, bro. Oh my God. I didn't sleep a lick my freshman year. I was up watching Netflix on my laptop till like 1 a.m., rolling in at 5:30. And I was just a long snapper, but obviously with playing one sport. But like those freshman year lifts,
Yeah, yeah,
those winter lifts, there's also happened to be like just a complete like winter advisory for like 2 months my freshman year. So we're like walking through the blizzard across from Hillcrest
yeah,
to like through the quad to get to the
yeah.
oh my God, it was brutal. My
I remember,
body
yeah.
just unbelievable.
We had one of those too. Like my moped wasn't like starting, so
Doesn't
like I like
start.
2 days in a row, I just had to run like over there, and it
The
was,
work. How bad were you hurting, dude?
bro. It was. Did I come in at like? I mean, list is 6. I'm coming in at like 5:30. Oh,
Yeah.
my legs are dead, and now I got to
Yup.
go freaking do front squat, eccentric front squats for
Oh
4
God,
by 5, bro. It was freaking
you're
brutal.
giving me PTSD. Yeah. My freshman roommate and I had one of those. Uh, so you guys did like FMS, right? Like the
Yeah,
movement screening where
yeah,
you had to
yeah.
like, then you get put into correctional groups if you
Yep,
don't
yep,
score
yep.
right. So we have a freshman FMS scheduled at like 6:20.
Mm-hmm.
Our alarms didn't go off. We
Oh,
we wake up at 6:08. Now, fortunately, the moped started.
started.
I'm telling you, I was out the door and on my moped in 1 minute, and I've got like a little 50cc, barely gets up the
Yep.
hill by
Yep.
Hillcrest. And I'm just like, I blew all 3 red lights on the way to the complex at 5 at 6:10 in the morning. Get into the locker room at like 6:13. Never got dressed faster. Run upstairs. I am heart rate's never been faster. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
probably 210, dude. And I run in there. I'm already sweating. I'm like clearly disgruntled. And Ray looks at me and he's like, "Hey, calm down, calm down." And I'm just like, Doyle's gonna kill me. I am dead. I'm dead. And thankfully we made it. But dude, some of those every guy has
yeah.
something like that happens to him where they got to walk or something,
Yep.
and it's just awful. The stress is horrible.
I think that's the worst feeling. Like, thankfully, I was never late in
Yeah.
college, but like in high school, like there was like I think that's the worst feeling is like when you wake up and it's like you're like, oh my gosh,
There's nothing you can do about it.
It's like, yeah, it's brutal.
It's even more brutal when
You
yeah,
got Coach Doyle on the other side.
yeah, that specifically. Yeah, and you're a
Uh,
long snapper who's worthless to the program at that point. Wow, that's fun. So, like you said, I mean, you guys were during that first freshman spring, you were already like you played right away, right?
like
Like you pitched
baseball.
some, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, we started playing like second week of February. So it
But
was like,
you specifically were in the games
oh
pitching.
yeah. No, I was pitching. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's also not like you were just along for the ride. Like you were actually performing and then
Yeah.
had to come back. Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Um, okay, so it gets a little bit easier, and you make your way to this past season, and you
Yep.
made the decision before the season.
I didn't know. It was like the first. It was right before spring ball started. I think it was like the
Oh, all
first
the
week.
way back like a year ago.
I
Then
think it was in like the first week of March. Yeah.
was this a decision that was like weighing on you? What went into this decision? Did you finally like? Obviously, at this
Yeah.
point, you've played through a sophomore season. You're about to go into your junior season at this point.
Yep. Yep.
And like probably similar to high school, like when you started to get more attention there, you had been balling out on the mound for the Hawks. It's not 97 anymore. It's like 100, 101. And it's like, okay, this guy's a legitimate like ace prospect for the MLB. And that pressure probably started to weigh on you. What led to this decision and how did that all go down?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely weighing on me for a while. It honestly started during bowl prep. I was battling another hamstring issue that's kind of been on and off for throughout the whole season. And like my freshman year too, like first week there, like I, dislocate my thumb, got to get surgery, like out 8 weeks. Like, so I was just like, I had like a few injuries, like where it was just like really just annoying. And like you said, like at that point I knew like baseball, like, I knew that like, I was fighting for a starting role. Like, I just thought that, this might be the year. But at the same time, like, I still love, I still wanted to play football, like, and all that stuff. So I was still, kind of weighing it out the first, few weeks of that training, and, even the first few weeks of the baseball season. But then like the first few weeks of baseball were going pretty well. And, I knew like to get, like, it was always my dream to play professionally, like, whether, it was, football or baseball, like, I wanted to be a pro, I
Yep.
wanted to make it to the big leagues. And so, I think I knew baseball was probably going to be my best shot at that. And then, with the way things were going, and just the injuries I dealt with in football, I just thought it was going to be the best thing for me just to have a full year of baseball, being able to clean some things up in the fall, be healthy in the fall, get to sleep in a little bit. Um,
Yeah, man.
and just really just focus on like the pitching side of things and just being a baseball player. That's kind of, I just thought, I think that was gonna be the best thing for me. And as much as I hated, you know, hanging them up with football, I just knew I had to do it.
It's
So
tough to hang up the pads, bro.
it's
It's
tough. It's
yeah,
tough, man.
yeah, especially when you're forced to do it. You at least had the choice.
I know.
Um, that's I think right before you did it, or maybe a couple months. I think maybe it was the season before. We were talking about you on the podcast at one time, and I was we were on here like, what the he needs to hang it up right now and take that $1 million arm straight to the Diamondbacks. He needs to
Uh,
get back with the Diamondbacks. And then you ended up making the decision. We were all like, okay, that's smart move, Brody. Smart move. From the outside, though, it's easy to say that, right? Like,
yeah,
we're not the ones hanging up the passion and the love for the game. And
exactly.
your brother's on the football team, like obviously made friends there and everything.
Exactly.
Um, but in the back of your mind, you probably thought like, gosh, how good could I be if I didn't have to worry about an entirely different sport as well at that
Exactly.
point, right? Because at that point you'd gotten to see how both your careers, both on the football team as a
Yeah.
receiver and the baseball team, had started to play out and advance a little bit. And you're like you said, the sleeping in part would have gotten me. I would have been like, wait a second, I don't have to. Yeah, that fall's going to be kind of cakey though. Like I'm in on that.
But yeah, I mean, just being able to have because like for me, it was a super quick turnaround from football going into the season. I mean, like bowl games. I mean, it's going till
There's no turnaround, dude. You got
and
like 2
exactly,
weeks.
exactly. Like it was like I mean, didn't go home a single time in the fall. Like, we have the bowl game, and then I'm home for 10 days, and I got to be back up here. And so for me, it was just like, all right, what if I, had a full, because like last year, like my arm, like the last like few weeks of the season, like my arm was just kind of dragging, just like velo was kind of down a couple clicks, like it was just like I had no buildup, like for like I
By
started.
the way, every time you say velo, it's like, oh, you're like, what a stud. What a stud. It's like when I hear velo, all I think of is like, oh, this guy's got lettuce, or like he's using like the terminology of
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, go on.
So for me, it was just like, all right, like, what if I had a full fall to build my arm up,
Yeah.
get accumulated all those pitches, be able to add a pitch, just clean some things up, working on
Throw
direction.
something new in the bag, huh?
Exactly, exactly. And so like for me, it's just like, how like just the amount of steps I can just take forward, or just I don't know, if I had a fall to just kind of work on things.
If I had any time at all,
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's just what it was. Just like, I just thought it was going to be, super beneficial for me. And I think it has been super beneficial for me to, just work on some of the little things and, add a pitch and all this stuff. So
I'm not a scout for the Diamondbacks, but I'd say it's worked out pretty good so far. What does the bag of tricks look like? I thought Brody Brecht was just a fastball guy. All I thought he just throws heaters, right? That's all you need. If you can throw fast enough, that's all you need. You just move that thing around the box, and they're never going to touch it.
Yeah.
Yes, we talked to Coop, and he mentioned how you have like a 90-some mile per hour slider as well.
Yeah.
So
That might actually be my best pitch, honestly.
Well, that's not fair. So that's not fair.
Yeah, but I got a four-seam fastball. Then I have that slider. Usually like 89, 92 probably, and then I had this fall I added like a sweeper.
What the? What's a sweeper?
So here, I'll explain it to you. So like,
Please do. I want the ins and outs.
Sweeps. What do you mean?
so last year, like I threw a bunch of different slider shapes. So like some would like just kind of be straight like this, like a normal slider. Some would sweep, like get more
Okay.
sweep than break, and then or some would be like super gyro-y. That's a
Sure.
alternate.
Yeah. I got you.
But so like it did a bunch of different shapes, but I never like said, all right, I'm gonna sweep this one. All right, I'm just gonna throw this one normal or whatever. Like
It just happened.
It just happened. I just threw it and it did what it did. But this fall, I was able to differentiate and just figure out, all right, I'm gonna sweep one here. I'm gonna throw normal slider here. And so I was able to add a sweeper, so it gets more horizontal break than it does vertical break.
Okay.
And then my normal slider gets it's kind of gets the same horizontal and vertical, but it's more like sharp and it goes down more rather than just kind of.
So my dumbass always thought that the slider was pretty much just what you're describing in the sweeper. I thought the slider just kind of went horizontal.
Well, that's kind of and that's what it was. So like it was always like, all right, slider.
And then the curveball is what drops off.
Yeah. So like that's always what it was. Like especially like it's just really these past few years, like with the technology and all like the data that they do now.
Yeah.
Like that's when they added like the sweeper. Like so like normally like it's fastball, slider, curveball, and then change up that goes over here. But
Jesus,
they just invented a new pitch.
What do you say?
They just invented a new pitch.
They just like classified
just
it
a different angle.
Like,
okay.
Just like with the whole so like a lot of guys will have like a slider or a sweeper but the sweeper, like I said, it just gets more horizontal. Like it doesn't get as much vertical break as I don't know.
I imagine you have a changeup then as well, right?
I throw like a splitter.
Okay.
But yeah, I just need just something going this way.
How fast does that go?
Probably like 92, 93. If
it's so stupid, dude. Do you ever think of wow, man, I really was like, obviously you worked hard for this arm too.
Yeah.
A little bit like, dude, I'm telling you, the last time I reared back and tried to throw a baseball, my shoulder almost came off of my body and I threw that thing 72 miles an hour. And I don't believe I could put any more power on it. That might have been when I might be able to throw like 73, 74.
73, there you go. But I mean, definitely, a lot of it is God given.
Is anybody else on the team like close to you in velocity?
I mean, we got a few. We got a pretty. I think our staff. I think we have one of.
You guys are studs this year, by the way. We haven't even met. We're 43 minutes into this podcast. The Iowa baseball team is. I have seen some things.
Yeah.
Some rankings. Some projections of potential Omaha. Like, dude, if you guys make it to Omaha, we already said as a podcast we're coming.
You have to. You have to. You have to.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the goal for sure. But I mean, from football, it's always a game at a time.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But I mean, we definitely got some studs on the team. I think, I throw, I think it's me, and then we got a couple guys. I mean, Zach Volker, he'll, be 95, 96. Marcus Morgan will be 93, 95. Reese Buter will be 92, 94. Kate Obermuller will probably be 93, 96. Like, I mean, we probably got 4 or 5 dudes.
Hellerball's got gas, huh?
We got some gas on the team.
Let's go. Take us to Omaha, baby. Take us west.
We're trying. But
what about the bats? What are the bats looking like?
I mean, we got a guy named Sam Peterson who might win Big Ten Player of the Year. He's going crazy right now. He's good. You guys should look him up. He's doing really good for us.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah, he should. Yeah, no, he's a good kid, and he's very talented. I mean, I think we return a lot of guys too. Like,
okay,
I mean,
that's important.
We lose our first baseman from last year, Brendan DeRiggi, who's a great hitter for us, and then Keaton Anthony, who was probably our best hitter. They both kind of playing professionally now, but I think other than that, like we're returning pretty much everybody. So I think we just got a really experienced group and a lot of disciplined hitters up there where we can trust them to make good ABs. But I mean, I think we got all around. I think we got a great team going, but like I said, it's one game at a time.
You guys are playing chess, huh? Chess, not checkers. Dude, baseball's listening to you talk, I can tell baseball's so much more than I even know. Like it.
Oh, I mean, and I'm still like, I mean, you talk to like some of the guys on the team that like have been like you talk to a guy like Raider Tello or Michael Seegers or like any of those guys like on our team. Like, I mean, they'll look like, because they can give you the hitting side. Like, I can give you like a little bit of the pitching side, but I'm still like new to all that, like, stuff as well. So
They just tell you, hey, Brody, go up there, strike him out.
yep. Get ahead, stay
11
ahead.
strikeouts, by the way, in your first outing.
Yeah.
Couldn't get all 13, could you?
No.
What are we doing, buddy? Come on.
I know. No, it was, I mean, yeah, I got to clean some things up though. Got to finish some guys. I had 4 guys 0-2, 1-2, and I ended up walking them, which just can't happen. Like it's just finishing them. That's the
Sure.
thing. I think the stuff's there obviously, but it's just about getting ahead, staying ahead, and then finishing them when I do that stuff. So
I was a catcher, and they threw me into pitch when they wanted to comedy. And dude, it was such a I don't know if you ever played baseball, Grant, but
I had a short career.
It was hard for me to hit the zone, bro. I could not hit. Talk about painting corners. I couldn't even paint the box. I couldn't throw a strike.
Yeah,
I feel you.
No, I mean, yeah, pitching is definitely tough. I think you have your control guys, you have your stuff guys. I think I'd probably be a stuff guy.
Yeah, and that stuff is absolute jet fuel gas ignition.
But I mean, yeah, it's really just being committed. Like for me, like 2 big words for me are commitment, conviction. Just commit to every single pitch and throwing each pitch with total conviction. And just for me, it's all about direction as well. Just going straight through home plate. Like for me, when I usually miss glove side. I'm opening up, trying to rush, and then I end up cutting the ball down. So for me, it's all about just staying straight through the catcher.
Damn, I like that. Throwing each pitch with conviction.
Yeah.
That's a little bit okay. I relate to that a little bit because as a specialist, snapper, kicker, you if you start kicking here's Kevin. We should line you up and let Brody just ace one right at your chest.
I mean, at least give me a chance. Please put me in the batter's box,
Okay. I'm still going to I'm going to give him the sign to beam you. How are we doing, Kev? How's your night going?
It's a shit show of a night, but.
Oh, there we go. So what you're looking at, Brody, this is called adulting.
Yeah.
We're 29 now and have real lives.
There we go.
So you'll have that eventually, hopefully with like millions of dollars contract. Kev, we're at the part in the story where Brody decides to go all in on baseball and not play football. And I informed him that we, the walk-ons, thought that was a good decision.
Oh yeah, we fully endorse that decision. But would love to hear more about your thoughts behind it. Right? Or maybe you guys got into that already.
He gave it a little bit. Yeah, we were just like, it was just he saw where his career was going in both sides, and he's like, his whole thing. Yeah, obviously a business decision. I mean, I guess what does it look like as far as, because we haven't talked about this yet, like, was there thoughts or ideas of like, maybe I come out after last year? Like, when do you decide like, okay, I'm going to, do you get drafted every year in baseball? It seems like you do. Like, what happens there? I'm so confused. Did you get drafted out of high school?
No, I could have, but I had like my price that I wanted, and
whoa, back it up there. You could set a price?
Well, it was just like, for me, it was just like, all right, how much would it take for me,
sure,
to give up football, to give up playing baseball here, to get that extra development, at Iowa, and just go straight into minor league ball
based on where you would have been projected to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I set a pretty high one, just because I wanted to come here and I wanted to play it. And so, because I had an original one, and I didn't want to, and I was like, and I probably could have got it, but then I was talking to some guys on the team here, and it was just like, my whole life I've like worked to play football. Like I got to experience it. I got to play in Ankeny. Like I got to do the swarm. Got to do the I got to do the wave. Got to do this stuff. So I ended up raising it a little bit before the draft, and nobody really hit it. So which I was totally fine with. It was one of the things where it's like, all right, if I get it, great. If not, even better. So
you said, I want Shohei money.
Yeah. Give me the 70 mil a year. Yeah,
Give
no.
me Ohtani money, or I'm not doing it. Hey,
Yeah.
I will tell you this, and you probably, I'd love your thoughts on it, that being able to swarm, being able to come out in the swarm and put on the black and gold for football, that's worth quite a bit.
Oh, no, it was, priceless, man. It was definitely
Caught a couple balls too.
Hey, 9, baby, I think.
I caught one.
There we go. But yeah, like you said, like it's so you coming out of high school, so you can come out of high school,
Okay.
you can come out of your junior year of college.
So if you don't come out in high school,
Yeah.
you're signing up for 3 years of baseball.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we're
Yep.
learning a lot here tonight. We're learning.
Yep. And
So that would have been last year then. When is the MLB draft?
it's this July, like mid-July, I think, second week of July, maybe.
For the guys who would have finished last season. Or no?
Or just like so this is my junior year. So this is like my
Oh,
draft.
you're still a junior. I'm
still a
dumb,
junior.
bro.
Yeah.
So you could technically go this year.
Yeah.
Or then obviously finish out your senior year.
Yeah. Well, so baseball is different. So like baseball, everything's like slotted. Like each pick, so like the number 1 picks, slotted at 10 mil, 11 mil, whatever. Second's like 9 mil, eights. It just kind of keeps going down. As you keep going down the draft.
If I was to search Brody Brecht's name, where would his projection be right now? Do you do that?
MLB is similar to NFL in that respect. Like pretty much NFL now is like every draft pick, you already have your contract pre-selected. Is that the same way in MLB now?
Yeah, but for football though, so like you could have like Jay, like he could have got drafted this year, but he's coming back, but he can still get that same amount of money next year. Like baseball is like the total opposite. Like if you don't have any years left, they can use that as leverage and they can sign you for like under slot value.
Oh, yeah.
That's money. So like that's why everybody usually goes their junior year if they can.
Okay.
Just because then you have leverage. So that's kind of like where it's different in that aspect of things.
Brody Brecht, 17th ranked prospect. Jesus Christ, buddy. So you're coming out this year. We got little bit of time with Brody left in the black and gold, and this guy is gone, brother. Dude, come on now. You're up here with, I'm sure these guys are studs. JJ Weatherholt, who's that joker?
Yeah, no, that's actually my guy. We played summer ball together.
Don't lie, he's a punk. Shortstop, second baseman for West Virginia. That guy can't play baseball, can he?
No, he batted .450 last year with like 40,
450,
with like 40 bags, like 20 pumps, and the dude's crazy. I'm telling you, that's
Jesus Christ.
I played summer ball with him, and then I was down at Team USA with him, and every single ball was just a barrel. Like it was just.
How about this guy from Florida, Jack Caglianone? That's the baseball name right there. I tell you what.
So he's a two-way guy. So he throws like 98 from the left side, and then last year he broke the like D1 home run record. He hit like 35 pumps last year.
Okay, so the fact that you call them pumps, I'm a big fan of that. I love that. Wow, so there's some studs out there, huh?
So this guy's trying to be the next Shohei?
Yeah, no, he's a dog for sure.
Oh, and he's good for him. 6'5". Jesus Christ, 6'5", 245?
Yeah, no, he's big.
This guy's a tight end.
It's an absolute unit.
Yeah.
What do we got? What do we got? Brody Brecht on here. 6'4", 225. That ain't bad, brother.
They said 6'6".
No, 6'4".
Oh, 6'4". Yeah, no, I'm 6'4". Like right now, probably like 232, 230.
232.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are a little beefy, huh?
Oh yeah, no, I put on quite a bit. Man.
Let's go, my man.
So that weight gain, is that all post football weight gain, or like you beefing up to put a little more juice on the fastball, or what?
Yeah, so football, I think I played like during the season, I think I was like 215, 218, and then in the off season I'd be like 222 probably. So I've probably put on 10 pounds since football. But a lot of that's because I'm not, running,
you heard
60s.
it here first. Brody Brecht is on TRT. Human growth hormone. No, what does that look like? What was there guidance from the baseball like the staff, the
Yeah, I'm curious. Do they kind of regulate your body weight similar to the way the football staff does, or is it a little different?
They check your body. I mean, it's not anything like as strict as like what football was, like, optimum range and all this
No.
stuff. But like for me, so like last baseball season, like, I still have like the football weight on me for the first, few weeks. And then, it's on the road, it's traveling, it's, you're not eating as much over there. Then it's summer ball, like, and all this stuff. Like, I think I started the season at 218. I think I ended at like 208. So like I lost like a good 10 pounds. And then like, I said like my velo kind of dropped too. So over the summer, I mean, I, hop back on the creatine, like, started ripping bench press, like just trying to get, the muscle back, just trying to get the weight back. And, like I said, like I'm, 230 now, and I feel like I'm, moving pretty good at it right now. So I'm just trying to keep it around there throughout the season. So
get a couple more core 42s in you.
There you go, baby.
Come on now.
I like the advice that we just heard. Just take some creatine,
Hey,
hit a little bench sesh.
yes,
all
sir.
you need, man.
Yes, sir.
Smashing calories, man. That's all you gotta do.
There you go.
102.
If you're 232, I mean, you're probably eating pretty much whatever you want as a 20. How old are you? 21?
21, yeah.
God, it must be nice. Congrats by the way, on being able to drink beer legally.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Beer, calories, if you're trying to throw on a few, beer over tequila. Is that what you're drinking right now? Beer right through that?
No, that's some good old H2O right there.
Whoa, okay. I believe it. So do you have to watch your diet then now as you or like, are you pretty comfortable? Like, do you have any idea how many calories you're eating a day, or you just know like what you're eating and consuming on a daily, a weekly basis is pretty much supplying you with what you want body wise right now?
I think I have a pretty, like, I've always like been, I always like try to, especially once I got to college, I usually try to, eat pretty well. So,
Sure.
I'm not eating like a, whole lot of bad food and whatnot, but, I'd say anywhere, probably, 35, 4,000 calories a day, probably just trying to, maintain that. Obviously, when we're traveling on the road, it, kind of changes a lot, but just trying to make sure I'm getting like, protein in, some carbs in, and that stuff. But I kind of like usually know, what I need to eat and whatnot. Usually do pretty good, but
6'4", 230. You are a unit, brother. You could eat whatever you want. That's funny. So what does a meal look like then? If Brody Brecht wakes up, what's breakfast for you?
3-4 eggs, blueberry bagel, peanut butter, yogurt, 2 glasses of milk. Do that, and then go to class, whatever. Lunchtime, if we got black card, go Chipotle, noodles, bread gardens, usually kind of like my 3 Estella's. And then usually like throughout practice, like right after practice over, usually drink a protein shake, especially if I'm lifting or whatnot, and then usually go home, make probably 2 servings, whatever, and I'll eat one of those, and then the next day have it for lunch if I don't got black card or whatever. But I try to get a good 3 meals in, and then probably a fourth, like kind of a snacky one, whatnot. But
listening to that, Kev, that got me. That took me back right there. That got me a little excited. that made me like, ooh, want to get back in the rhythm there. Grab a little refuel. Were they still serving those like, what were they like egg and I don't remember. I used to put jelly on. What did we used to have for refuel in the morning, Kev, at the facility? It was
the egg sandwiches, egg and sausage.
Yeah.
No, were they still serving that?
They still rip those out every day, man.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, you were one of that thing.
Oh yeah, lather that thing with some grape jelly, brother. Dude, the amount of calories I had, and I wish I would have been tracking back then. It was outrageous, unbelievable. So obviously the goal here is let's get us back on track and not waste your time.
You're good.
The goal here is to have a stellar season, just mow people down, and then get drafted as high as possible. Like, is that the goal? Probably not thinking about the draft, but
at the we talk about like short-term and long-term goals. So obviously that's a long-term goal. Make it to Omaha. Win the Natty. I think we can, honestly. Last year we beat LSU. And they ended up winning it all. So
hey now.
I think I definitely think it's a reality for us this year. To host a regional, go to supers, go to Omaha, win it. But like I said earlier, it's just about, taking it one day at a time. And I think that's where the main goal is right now is, what can I do each day to get better, and whatnot. But yeah,
you sound like you played for KF. God damn. You just want to be humming. All right, we just want to be humming when June comes around. Right?
There is no big picture. Just take it one step at a time, okay?
All right. This Brody Brecht guy, he could throw 300 miles an hour if he wanted to, okay?
Bro,
holy
dude,
shit.
Spencer can do the best KF impression.
Dude, we just had him on. Dude,
it's so good.
He's unbelievable.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome.
That's great, dude. We so badly we want to see the Hawks just rip off a season here. It would be so sick.
Well, it was last year. I mean, I was at the who'd they play first game this year? Western?
Yeah.
Was it whatever the first game was? I was there with one of my good buddies on the baseball team, and when they threw the touchdown when Cade threw it to Seth for the touchdown, the second play, we're going to the net. We're going to the college football playoff. We got it.
We're going. It's over.
We're going.
Yeah. We scored a touchdown in 2 minutes, and it's oh my god, we got it. We're going.
We're there. And
we got all the pieces.
Unfortunately, injuries happen and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, that was not good.
Man, Grant, jump in here. I've taken most of the conversation on this back half. I'll summarize here in a second. But you got any questions for Brody?
Yeah, no, I got some questions for you. Some of them are kind of more niche baseball questions. But I talked to your teammate Ben Wilmus a while back, and he said that in your guys' warm up, you guys play imaginary football. Are you still playing receiver in imaginary football, or are we mixing it up and going somewhere else?
The hitters do. So the pitcher, so that's what they do after they do their so that's right before the game starts. So they'll do their leads and fake steals, or steals or whatever, and then they'll split up into teams. They'll do imaginary football and they'll do that or whatever. So the hitters do that. I don't do that, but
so what do the pitchers do? Imaginary tennis or
we play hacky sack. We play hacky sack.
Hacky sack. Shoot. Wow.
Yeah. So that's our warm up, but yeah, no, we actually made a football team of our baseball team. We actually low key got a good squad. I think we beat a lot of high school teams.
What's the squad? Rip off some guys.
You want me to rip them off? All right. So I'm actually going to tight end just because we need some bodies.
Gonna have to, yeah.
Gonna have to. Quarterback, we got Marcus Morgan. He's he's another guy on our baseball team. Shoves.
Dog.
But he had D1 quarterback offers out of high school too. So he's quarterback. Sam Peterson, who I talked about earlier, is going to be our running back. He's just a ball of muscle.
Dog.
A small, a little Kerner. So he's running back. We got Big Bopper at right tackle. He's our first baseman.
Big Bopper, bro. Who's that?
So his name's Blake Guerin, but we call him – so when he committed, out of high school, they called him, the Big Bopper from up north. So now we just call him Bob. So
wow.
He's a character. You guys are talking to him.
I learned really quick in this episode that I like the baseball slang talk they got going on there.
Yeah, that's what I told him, bro. That's what I said. These guys are dogs.
No. Baseball, especially the trips, man. We got a bunch of games that you just play with.
You guys are probably
it's wild. Imagine. But yeah, that's some of the squad right there.
Yeah.
But
no, it's an elite group already. What they got NCAA coming out this summer. I might have to build a little mini baseball team, dude.
I can't wait to grind that, man.
Dude, who are you taking to the Natty? Are you taking Akron to the national championship next year?
So my boy, one of my best friends, he's actually just transferred to Sam Houston. He's our quarterback. I'm balling with him. He's winning.
Taking the boys.
He's winning the Heisman, man. But yeah, no. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play a season with Iowa for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I might make myself honest again. But
we're gonna have to load Coupe de Jean into the game.
I know.
We're gonna need him.
Oh yeah.
So then, sticking with warm-ups, I'd say once a year in my timeline, I get the videos Trevor Bauer doing his weird warm-up stuff at UCLA. He's throwing it 400 feet and he's chucking into walls, doing weird stuff. Is there anything that you do as a pitcher, or are there any other pitchers on the team that have a very unique warm-up that it's you only do, or is there something that a guy only does that you've never seen before?
I mean, I do from my stretches, I want to stretch out my back and my neck. So I'll roll up and I'll kind of I don't know how to explain it, but I'll kind of sit back and I'll just kind of rest my body weight on my neck and just kind of move around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of loosen up. I don't know. That's just because like my backers.
I was
so,
hoping you said you like chugged a 16-ounce of Mountain Dew or something like that, just like
No.
ripping.
a lot of guys rip the rain. So my freshman year, I ripped a rain, like chugged one before I went out there.
Mhm.
And,
Heart rate on max, just like
oh, it was not. I mean, I was throwing gas. That was the hardest pitch I ever thrown. Was that day my freshman year. But it was.
Did we stopped?
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh, it's control.
just ripping pre-workout, just going out there
dude.
throwing 105.
Yeah, that was the end of that for me.
Oh my god!
But I mean, we got like a lot of the guys. I mean, everybody's got their own routine, but I mean, it's a lot of it's just like, get your dynamic in, rip some plyos, and then go play catch and stuff. But I mean, I don't know if anybody's got like any crazy weird ones. There's some like weird drills that like some people do with like we have like water balls, like working on like movement prep and stuff. So like some guys will get in like kind of funky positions with that. But yeah.
Cool.
I got a question for you. So, are you one of the pitchers like say you got a no-hitter perfect game going? Do you want to be left alone in the dugout, or are you one of the guys like, nah, it's me a little bit in the head. I just want y'all to act normal around me.
I mean, nobody talks to me. I like to just stay in my mindset, stay in my zone.
All right.
When I'm in there. I mean,
what is the self-talk of a pitcher like in between innings then? Like when you're out?
It depends how the inning went.
I'm a lion. I'm gonna eat these guys for.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I try to keep everything positive. I want to keep positive thoughts in my head. Just like, when I'm out, like if it was like a good inning, I'm like, all right, keep shoving, dominate the zone. They don't stand a chance. Like I'm the best. I'm the chance. Like just like trying to like keep that going. It feels like a inning, where I walk the guy or. I was kind of struggling. I get back and I'm like, all right, reset, right here, start ahead, get ahead, dominate the zone. Make them earn it, like kind of stuff like that.
Throw some chin music.
Yeah. If it was a really bad inning, I'd say some stuff to myself. Stop being soft.
Yeah. I hate myself. I want to. Yeah.
But I mean, that was more so like the past, year and a half of baseball. But now I try to keep everything positive. Just meeting with like the mental performance coach, like that's kind of really good, for mindset talk. But
cool.
Unreal.
Favorite baseball movie?
What do you say?
Favorite baseball movie?
Well, for me, I have like a little bit of bias towards this one. It's the final season. It's about the Norway baseball team. But my family's from the area. My dad played for, the coach. My grandpa's farms in like the movie. So it's kind of like has like a little bit of like,
Jesus.
value to me.
All right.
But I mean, I love bench warmers. Just hilarious.
Bench warmers.
Was
not expecting that one.
Yeah,
But
that one's just funny. I love like a good comedy, so that one's good.
Classic, right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, here's what I've learned. I know that after 68 minutes of talking to Brody Brecht, I'm pretty sure that baseball players are the coolest dudes on earth. Like that's all I've taken away from this thing. We're super appreciative of you coming on the pod. This was fun. I hope the listeners like the baseball crossover. I think we can get into it. I think people will be interested to hear because of the football sort of mix in there. And dude, we're stoked to watch you just throw absolute gas all season, and hopefully the Hawks can make it to Omaha. That would be so sick.
Yeah, no, that's the goal, man, for sure. But I appreciate you guys having me. That was a lot of fun. You guys are funny people, so I always listen to one every once in a while and whatnot. But no, I appreciate you guys, and yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing, man. You guys bring a lot of laugh into this world. So
trying. Thank you everybody for listening to the show. We will be back again on. I'm not even sure when this is dropping. We're so out of whack with this, but hope you guys enjoyed Brody. We'll be back again soon. Until next time, peace.